Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. We have seen the River Modern show flat and we are truly excited for this one.
And this video is an extension of River Modern Part 1. So if you haven't watched that, please pause, click here, and then come back to watch this video after. So just a disclaimer before we start, whatever that we'll be sharing is just our personal thoughts and it's not representative of our company nor the developer. So today we'll be going deeper. We'll be analysing stack facings, the floor plans, as well as comparison with nearby competition.
With 4 launches in River Valley, there's a lot of information for sure. So this video is supposed to be a one-stop summary so that we can help you make sense of everything.
So let's start off with a quick summary of River Modern. So this will be the last river-facing plot by Guaco Land, directly linked to Great Wall City Mall as well as Great Wall MRT. Unit mix wise, you have got 2 to 4 bedroom unit types with close to 60% of the development made up of 3 to 4 bedroom types.
Yes, so now let's look at the site plan. So one big plus point is that 70% of the unit types are indeed facing the Singapore River. So mostly it's going to be my larger bedroom types, but even my bigger 2-bedders have the river facing.
And for the inward facing units, developers have strategically made the towers slanted so that you get views of River Green, future Parcel C, and some units even have MBS view. Now looking at the facilities, this is very classic Guaco Land. You've got the signature grand lawn which gives the whole development a very homely, open feel. There's also a proper tennis court, a 50 meters lap pool, and steam rooms. So a very nice touch.
So just to add to that, there's going to be 2 barbecue pavilions, electric grills, and a mega clubhouse that can be divided into 2 smaller clubhouses. Some facilities for the kids, a play pool as well as a playground, and a full suite of features. So basically, full-size amenities, which is really lovely. And at the side gate, it leads you directly to the MRT station. Not missing out, River Modern does come with 6 commercial units, 3 F&B and 3 retail.
Now let's jump straight into the layout analysis. So here are the 2-bedroom layouts at River Modern, and let's now analyse the smallest bedroom type, which is the 2-bed 1-bath.
Yes, so for the 2-bed 1-bath, there's actually 2 stacks, stack 5 as well as stack 12. And neither are river facing, which is quite expected with the smaller unit types. What we'll see is that stack 5 might be a little bit closer to Parcel C as well as facing River Valley Primary School. So unless the developer chooses to premium load on the larger unit types, we would feel that stack 5 might be slightly cheaper compared to stack 12. Yeah,
what we do like is this dumbbell layout with a Jack and Jill bathroom, and the living room width, right, is almost 3 meters wall to wall, which is super generous even for a 2-bed 1-bath unit.
So now we'll be comparing our 2-bed 1-bath to all the other 4 launches, and Promenade Peak does not have a 2-bed 1-bath. So if we look at just River Green and Zion Grand.
So River Modern comes in at 538 square feet, and like what we mentioned earlier, the living area of 3 meters makes it feel very open and comfortable. You also get an enclosable galley kitchen, balcony, and clear separation between the living as well as dining, which we personally feel is super efficient in space.
Yeah, and comparatively, we're going to look at River Green and Zion Grand. River Green is 527 square feet. I love that they have a tuck-in kitchen, but what I don't like is that odd-shaped balcony that they have, right? And then if we look at Zion Grand, very similar to what we have at River Modern, but I think what's not working for it is that it's a full galley kitchen, not enclosable. So it's a longer walkway, so a little bit more unusable space.
Yeah. So side by side, River Modern feels the most balanced in terms of options wise.
So now we're moving forward with our 2-bed 2-bath. We have a total of 3 different layouts, right? So 646 square feet. Although not river facing, we are facing the city, and on the higher floors we will be able to see MBS. So maybe around level 20. It's not confirmed by developer yet, but I'm guessing around level 20 lah. So although it lacks a little bit of the balcony space, interestingly enough, if you see the orientation, the common room feels like a master bedroom, which is something that all the other launches don't have.
When we look at the 6, 7, 8 as well as 6, 8, 9 square feet layouts, these are direct river facing, which will definitely strongly appeal to the own stay buyers. And what's nice is that all of the 2-bedroom units here have 3 meters living room width, as well as dumbbell layouts, so with a clear separation of the living as well as dining space. We do wish that the kitchen could be enclosed, but technically we can lah. Yeah, we can. So that's the silver lining here.
So now let's compare with all the other launches, right? For the purpose of this video, we have selected the larger 2-bed, 2-bath in all of the developments, right? So for the purpose of comparison, River Modern has a 3-meter wall-to-wall distance like Celeste mentioned earlier, right? But how does this compare with the other launches, right? Zion Grand and River Green is about 2.7 meters wide, while Promenade Peak is 2.75. So 3 meters in comparison is very luxurious.
Yes, and we've seen the different show unit types, right? So with River Modern, with the dumbbell layout, it truly makes the space feel a lot like a 3-bedroom instead lah. Yeah, and the kitchen really genuinely feels very luxurious with proper prep space as well. And River Modern does not have a 2-bed plus study layout, so we'll not analyze that.
On to the 3-bedder, which I believe is going to be the most popular layout types. So let's look at just River Modern layouts, right? Here we have 4 different layouts to compare. When we call it compact layout, it's our classification because they're all less than 1,000 square feet. So let's start off with the 797 square feet. Okay, I'll tell you what I don't like about it first. I don't like the L-shaped open concept kitchen. I think they could have done a little bit better with that. But what I do like is that the master bath comes naturally ventilated and all my common bedrooms can fit a queen size.
Next unit type is the 829 square feet, and this has the same inward facing orientation as Stack 13. So the key highlight here is that it's a corner unit and the window is actually at the dining area, which makes the living space feel brighter and more open. The kitchen here is slightly tucked in, though honestly I feel like Guaco did a much better job with the 2-bedroom kitchen layouts, because at least for the 2-bedroom layouts you could enclose the kitchen, whereas in this layout it feels a bit tough to do so.
So moving on to the 893 square feet, I think this is where it gets a bit interesting because this is direct river facing. And although it's compact by size, I'm still very impressed that they managed to squeeze in a flexi room, right? So this could be used as a study, a store, or even a maid's room, right? And I think this works really well because Guaco has done this before at Springleaf, at Faber Residences. So I think this is one layout that will move really quickly. One thing I do like is that the layout prioritizes a little bit more of the own stay elements at this point.
The largest compact 3-bedroom unit comes in at 904 square feet and it's a river as well as pool facing. So it comes with an attractive layout with an enclosable kitchen that opens to the balcony. So this will definitely be a very popular choice. So this unit faces the river. We do see that it's slightly facing the back of the 4 bedrooms, specifically the AC latch. So do you think that the 893 square feet units will be priced close to the 904 square feet units purely just because it has the direct river facing?
So I think overall Guaco has done a really good job with balancing out the 3-bed compact units, and I can understand why they chose to dedicate more units towards the compact bedroom types. I think quantum is one big thing, but if we study the market with River Green as well as Zion Grand, more of the compact 3-bedders moved really quickly, and what we're seeing is that with Promenade Peak especially, the larger 3-bedders are still a high supply, right? So, but of course, the big question remains, smaller unit means higher PSF? At this point, we don't know yet.
At Zion Grand, the 818 square feet feels a bit cramped, and I'm really not a fan of the galley style kitchen, but from an investment, getting a 50 floor around 2.7 mil sounds like a really good deal. And I really love what Zion did with the 861 square feet layout, and that's why it sold so quickly. The only downside for own stay is the lack of the household shelter, but clearly the market is very comfortable with this size.
Over at River Green, what I like is that all of the compact 3-bedders, because they don't have any premium layouts, have managed to squeeze in an enclosed kitchen that are naturally ventilated, and on top of that, it comes with household shelter. So actually all the 3-bedders are very very own stay proof, right? And where River Modern stands out in comparison is the living room width. So it comes down to 3 meters versus the 2.7, 2.75 in the resale. The thing I also didn't like about River Green is that not all of their common bedrooms can fit in a queen size bed. So we're actually seeing even something as small as 7 square meters. Not a fan of that. But River Modern, on the other hand, all bedrooms, common bedrooms specifically, 9 square meters is what we are looking at. And when you are looking at smaller compacts, they are more investor friendly, and our larger compacts at River Modern are also ideal for own stay. So it's a very good balance here. So now we're going towards our 3-bed premium layouts at River Modern. So what I love about this layout is that we have a 5.5 meter wide living room wall-to-wall distance, right? And on top of that, all of my 3-bed premiums are direct river facing. And there's only a slight difference between these two layouts. It's just a wider entryway for the 1109 square feet. What I love is that it comes with a flexi room. So what we can see is that the walls don't look structural, which means it's hackable. So if you don't need that space, you can have a very wide kitchen to living transition. Or if you need that flexi room, study, storeroom, or maid's room once again.
Another thoughtful detail is the powder room near the entrance, which clearly separates the hosting area from the private sleeping zones. So this is very efficient for day-to-day living, or if, let's say, you love hosting friends and family over. The balcony is generously sized, which, if you see right, it's wide enough to fit a dining table. When you're river-facing unit, it actually makes sense to use the balcony that way also.
So now we're going to compare with the other launches once again. So in terms of size, Promenade Peak as well as Zion Grand doesn't far too off from River Modern sizing for the 3-bed premium. And just to emphasize, River Green does not have a 3-bed premium like I mentioned earlier. So across all, since the layout doesn't change too much, that's where we want to focus on what are the main differences.
For us, River Modern clearly has a stronger own stay feel. When we first saw Promenade Peak's layout, we really understood why people call it gun-shaped layout. The main issue with it was the long walkway, which equates to more wasted space. That said, when you're physically at the show flat, it does feel nice to not be immediately greeted by the kitchen. There is a clear distinction of the entryway as well as the kitchen space.
So I did like that they had that hole-in-the-wall kitchen, like omakase style at Promenade Peak. And I also like that the kitchen has the same facing as all the bedrooms. So a lot of natural light flows in. But of course, if we have to see it very objectively, Promenade Peak will have the most wasted space among the three. So now we actually want to compare side by side in terms of Zion Grand as well as River Modern. I would say the layouts are quite similar, but where the difference lies is actually where the placement of the flexi room is. So if you see right, for River Modern, if I do keep the flexi room, I will not compromise on my landscape living room. But for Zion Grand, if I do keep that flexi wall, I'm going to get a portrait living for that 3-bed premium, so it might not feel so luxurious when my living room is cut smaller. So that's where I feel that in the resale market, the River Modern 3-bed premium might do a bit better as well. And I like the fact that if I hack off the flexi room, I have a very wide kitchen that flows with my living room. So it's quite boxy. I like that.
And saving the best for last, the 4-bedroom layouts. These two types naturally enjoy the best views in the development, starting with the 1464 square feet. Now this is the more compact of the two. It follows a more traditional layout with the bedrooms grouped on one side. It's practical, familiar, and also includes a 6.5 meter width for the living area.
So now we've come to my favorite layout in the whole development. 1,830 square feet, we have the premium 4-bedroom, right? So this layout really is going to stand out even in the resale because it's unique. Okay, why is it unique? Let's look at the living room. It is so generous because the dining area can be even converted into a study or even a bedroom. That's how big that area alone is. So what we're comparing is that this is a dumbbell layout 4-bedder, so it's not going to have that very long walkway that we see. So minimal wasted space, and I love that the master bedroom even features an L-shaped window to give you a 270-degree view of the river. And what I really love is that at least they gave the master a little bit of extra space, so it adds the final layer of luxury you expect at this level.
Now, if we compare River Modern's 4-bed, 1830 square feet unit type against the 5-bedders at Promenade Peak as well as Zion, the sizes are actually quite comparable. The challenge with the 5 bedrooms, however, is just that a lot of the space gets eaten up by the walkways, which is a bit of a shame. As a result, the living room width is compromised, almost 1 meter narrower and close to 2 meters shorter in depth. So it really comes down to priorities. Do you need a 5-bedroom, or would you rather have a one-of-a-kind luxurious 4-bedroom with a generous living space?
So now that we've already looked at all the new launch comparisons, let's zoom out a little and look at the resale comparisons, right? So a 2-bedder at Rivergate, in terms of a price point, we're looking at around easily a 3 million quantum. And over here, you will be upgrading to a 3-bedroom at River Modern, right? So how does that pricing look like in terms of an investment perspective? So if we're looking at Rivergate's 2-bedder, we are looking at about 2.5% in terms of rental yield compared to Martin Modern, right, which will be a little bit similar in terms of a profile of our 3-bedroom at River Modern. They're fetching about 3.4% in rental yield. So just efficiency, layouts, actually in terms of newer developments, there is real demand and the rental yield speaks for itself.
For 3-bedders, some buyers might ask, wow, it's so small, who will buy? But if you look at Irwell Hill, right, the 861 square feet non-harmonized units have already transacted and has been accepted by the market. And if we even look at River Green as well as Promenade Peak, all the compact units also flew off the shelf. That tells us that there is a real demand for compact, well-designed 3-bedders, especially for buyers who can't really stretch to a larger quantum. And that is exactly where River Modern comes in to be very attractive in its entry point into the River Valley area.
So now we're looking at the 4-bedders, and let's look at Avinia as a benchmark. Yes, it is a freehold, but what I want to really draw your attention to is the absolute price you're paying. So what are you paying for a 4-bedder there? Easily over 9 million. So if you look across the new launch market today, there isn't really a comparable product to our 1830 square footage, and even the younger developments don't have the same value proposition if you're looking for a 4-bed luxurious unit, right? So that's why a well-planned, efficient 4-bedder in the new launch like River Modern is likely going to have longevity and a resale appeal just based on the rarity. And let's not forget, it is river facing.
So we see a nice mix of larger bedroom types and more compact layouts in this development. So we are expecting attractive starting prices, strong own state appeal, and overall strong performance backed by resale benchmarks. So how do you think it'll perform on day one?
Well, I want to be optimistic, but because they're a little bit bigger bedroom types, I'll say maybe 85% on launch day. What about you?
I think with the launch day performance of Zion Grand, River Green as well as Promenade Peak, I'm guessing maybe about 92%. But of course, pricing decides everything, right? So if Guaco Land prices it right, maybe who knows, 100% sold?
Wow, that's rather optimistic for me because we're looking at Zion Grand's 5-bedder, none of it has moved. So knowing that we do have a few inventory that is going to be on a higher quantum side, I don't want to be so optimistic, but who knows, maybe everybody's just waiting for River Modern to launch and then all the stock is going to move, which is what we generally see. The spillover effect is going to be there. But yes, very important, it depends on how Guaco is going to price. So that's going to be a very big factor in how the launch performs. But what do you think about Guaco's loyalty? That is enough to sell out, maybe. So in this video, we did do a deep dive, but of course, with the launch day coming soon, I want you to be prepared because we do have clients that come to the show flat and they're not ready to buy. So I don't want you to miss that chance. So come and have a personalized conversation with us. With that, bye-bye!